Hi guys, Anthony here. Welcome to the channel. What have I got for you today? A cool terrarium with a water feature. Yes, a water feature finally in one of my terrariums. And what we're going to be using today is a inexpensive aquarium that I purchased last year when it was 50% off. So the aquarium cost me $15. It's a 10-gallon, and I've already got a glass top for it. And we're going to go through the process of how the items I selected and where the theme came from. So let me turn the camera around so you guys can get a good idea of what we're working with, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so here's the structure we're talking about. Now, this is 20 by 16 by 10 wide. I had at first thought about laying it on its side, and because I wanted more room for plantings, but it just wouldn't give me the height because a lot of my plants that are in my growth chambers are getting kind of tall, and I want to put them in here because they're doing so well. So this I purchased when it was open stock at PetSmart, and it was 50% off. So this costs $15. Now, I went to Lowe's, and they custom cut glass. They sell the glass, and then they custom cut it for you for free. So they did my lid for me. So now we've got the lid which cost $8. So moving on from the lid, let's talk about lighting. Now, as you can see, the lighting in the opening shot with the Trinity tanks on the shelf above this, I'm using the exact same lighting. What I'm doing is using leftover. So this did not cost me anything. And I want to give you guys a close-up of what we're talking about as far as the lighting goes. So a simple one little strip. Here you go. This is going to be mounted just like I did it in the Trinity tanks. If you did not catch that video, it's going to go inside at a 45-degree angle. You will not be able to see the light. It's going to shine down like this, so we'll get everything illuminated. What I like about this is I can just use double sticky tape, which comes with it, and these two ends are plastic, so it just easily puts right on there, and it does. This has been up for more than 2 weeks. When I put these up, they've stayed, and they've been fantastic. Well, I'm pointing to the Trinity tanks above you that you can't see. And it works off of a timer, and it has 4 lighting settings, which I like because you can change the mood, which is awesome. And again, this was left over from the lighting that's on the Trinity tanks and the limbs up on top. So the lighting didn't cost us anything. Now let's get into the fun stuff. So this is pea gravel that I picked up at Home Depot. It's been washed. I like this because it's a great mix. It's a great neutral mix. So I don't have to worry about the color clashing or anything like that. Now, yes, it's heavier. We could go with Leica, which would be super lightweight, but Leica's ugly. And if you're going to see it in your substrate level, I don't want to be looking at something like that. I want to look at something that's pretty, that looks natural, like the environment we're trying to go with. Because we're trying to go with something that you would find in nature. Now, that being said, let's do this shot. And here I've got gravel. Let's give this a try. Oh, much better. Okay, so this is gravel that I picked out of the stream where I've got all the other stuff. So I always keep some of this on hand. Here are some of the rocks, and you can see the colors that we're going to be using today in this build. There's a lot of the flat rocks, and then this was one that I found that I absolutely fell in love with. It's got a little bit of moss on it, and this was in the water. And here we go with, switch over. Okay. Now I kind of kept everything where it was just so I could remember. I did take a photo of it just in case. All right, so here are 2 more rocks right here that are with the same rock. Now here is my water feature. This will hold water. These are dried mushrooms off of a tree from Louisville, Kentucky on my nature walk while I was on my layover. The bark is here locally. This was from the same riverbed. This is from the same riverbed that this came. And then here is another mushroom that was from Raleigh when I was on my layover there. So, you know, I'm opportunistic. I'll just pick anything up that I think I could use. These came in perfect. Now, when I initially made the water structure, you can tell right here, if you'll focus right there, you can see there's like a break right here. All right. This was as wide or as long as the enclosure was. And on the first day of the build, it broke in half. And so I was devastated. So what I did is I went back, put the two pieces together, making it smaller, but still keeping all the fun stuff on both ends, because what we're trying to go for here is a snapshot of what happens in the forest floor. So these rocks are going to be what keeps the water on one side. Technically on this side, we got a bunch of wood piled up and more rocks. And what we're going to do then is kind of make this look like, okay, here's a hollowed out log that holds water. And hopefully I can put some of my aqua plants that I got from the lake close to me, the little baby ones, the floaters. Hopefully they'll be able to stay in here and thrive. So that's the goal. Now I've also got strips of other bark, leaves, stuff I never throw away, like dried pieces. You guys can't even see what I'm doing. Lord. Okay, so dried pieces of other bark, leaves that I've picked up, and then of course just other, like, more leaves. Ooh, here's some really, really dark pieces of wood. Just stuff that we can throw in. And then I have some acorns in the oven that I'm drying out that we can also use to make this look as realistic as possible. So first, let's get our gravel inside the aquarium. Okay, so for as far as the gravel goes, I'm gonna have it kind of even. So I'm gonna start with what I've got here, and we'll see if this is enough. I'll probably have to have another batch. And yes, I do wash my gravel. All right, the important thing is that our structure has the right tilt, because I want it to be able to really hold the water. I'm gonna have to we're going to put some soil in, because I need to build the soil up, and I'm going to have this sitting on top. So you know what? Let's do soil. Okay, now you can see that I've added in the barrier that will keep, hopefully, most of the substrate out of the gravel layer to keep this really at the bottom, to keep the water away from drenching the soil, which will be great for the health of the terrarium. And now let's just add the soil. Hi, so welcome to the buffet of terrarium mix. This is exactly what I've got in front of you now is my recipe. Did I come up with this recipe? No. I do what everybody else does. We go online and we look what other people are doing, the ones that are successful, and we kind of modify what they're using. My goal is to have one soil for terrariums, my potted plants, and my aquarium plants that I'm growing in immersed soil. Yes, immersed soil in tubs. Check out that video. It's pretty cool. So for me, the overall first thing I want to point out, this is where I keep my soil. And I keep this in a tub, and I have retrofitted this to make it sealed. This was not a completely sealed tub. Yes, it has the handles, but it does not keep out bugs, specifically gnats. So I use packing material to the styrofoam to put around the top and then close it down, and then it becomes airtight. Why do we do that? If you bring anything into your environment where you've got your soil exposed, you run the risk of, like, let's say you buy a house plant somewhere, or you bring something in from outside, you do your best to clean it, but what if a bug gets in? What if a gnat gets in here and lays eggs? Okay, game over, because you know what happens. What gnat can lay between 200 and 300 eggs? Just one. And once you get them in there, it's almost impossible to get it out. So for me, it's all about securing the fact that I want to have a healthy, clean environment in my soil that I don't have to worry about. So when we're talking about the mix, it's really just because I've used this already and I like it. And so I thought, okay, I'll let you guys know what I'm doing. So it's a 2-for-1 ratio. So I kind of made this as easy as possible. Sphagnum moss, 2 parts. Now, part is any container you use. It does not have to be a bowl. It could be a cup. You could be doing a really, really small terrarium, so you might just want to use a little cup. This comes dehydrated. I rehydrate it, put it in the microwave, nuke it for about 2 minutes. I don't want this coming back to life and competing with maybe the moss I've got in there or the plants that I have growing in the terrarium. Because we're going to do isopods and springtails, earthworm castings, cocoa fiber, charcoal for the filter and the health, reptile bark helps with aeration, and then also potting soil. Now my potting soil varies. Basically I'm looking for organic or a good mix, and since I keep such a large tub here, I buy the potting soil in smaller containers because I don't have a lot of space here. So the mix will change. It just gets added to the rest of everything else. It just kind of all gets blended in there together. So at this point, all you really do is just mix it together, and then that starts your substrate level for your build. I hope this clears up any issues that some of you guys have about. It's not that complicated. Make this however it works for you. I know some people that eliminate the potting soil and they use soil from their own yard. I know that some people eliminate the bark and go with leaf matter and twigs or things like that you can find in nature. You could easily do that. And if you're not putting like any like animal critters or insects, you could eliminate the earthworm castings. So make this work for however you want to work and for your budget. But at least this gives you a baseline as to what I'm using, and you can see the results that I get. Hope that helps. Okay, so I'm going for, this piece of wood here has this great curve that I'm wanting to match this curve to where it looks like that they have kind of melded together as they've aged, and that these 2 points come together to put a nice planting right there. Now, I think I had these back here. I'm gonna have to look at my phone to figure out how I had this, because it was the barrier. Well, maybe it's that simple. This was the barrier that would be to why this is washed up on that side. This one's the reason why it's washed up on this side. So this is where the water is going to stay if we can get it to hold water. The rock back here, I want it to be bigger, higher. I want to see as much. That worked. Okay, sometimes just leave it alone. And I know I want to have something planted right there. Here, here, here. Do I need... those all washed up back here or not? Do I need a rock? Ooh, that's interesting. Let's go with that. So we do want to have an elevation on the back side. You know what I love about this hobby? It's so therapeutic. For me it is. I hope it is for you guys too. Okay. We still have this color here that matches all these rocks. Oh, I just don't know. I don't know. We also have more of the bark. And this funky piece here. And this one. Ooh, I love that one. Maybe we could have something growing with that. That's cool. And then a little baby hollowed out. Ooh, look at the color. Hope you guys can see that. It's got some like yellowy. I don't want to break that because it's the smallest piece I have. And I'll leave that to the side. All right, let me get some plants selected and we'll get that set up. All right, so here is what we're going to start with. I know it looks like a lot. We may not use all of them, but it's what I've got ready to go. You can tell I've got some smaller ones, and I still have the 2 plants that I bought a couple of days ago to put in, plus some stuff that I picked up out in nature. It's soaking in a container. I did want to tell you guys that have been watching some videos on the channel that I've been having success with getting rid of some of the gnats that I've had problems with. I did a lot of research about life cycle of the gnat, and I went onto some horticulture websites, and I found another remedy that is so much better than the apple cider vinegar, which I used and was worthless. It is 1 part hydrogen peroxide to 4 parts water, and you literally soak the soil, and it kills the larvae and the eggs. Now, it does not kill a live gnat, but what you need to do is break the breeding cycle. So that's what I'm trying to do, and hopefully I'll be able to give an update about the progress with Kong and his problem with the gnats maybe in a couple of weeks, because I've been working on eradicating them out of that enclosure first. But here's your first look at the plants. And from here, I'm just going to kind of talk to myself. Okay, so I have the last set of plants that are the ones from nature, soaking in the water hydrogen peroxide, and I'm ready to start planting. And I know for sure that I wanted something in the back. I think it's going to be the prayer plant because it can hang over, and I think it's going to go back in. It's going to go back in this spot there. Okay, I do love it, and hopefully it'll get enough light. It should, because the light's going to shine into 45 to where we can still get the moss growing, to continue growing on the rock there. Okay, 1 down. One of my absolute favorite plants is the rattlesnake. It has to go in here. But I have a lot of ferns, so I don't want it on this side because look, it's too similar. I could balance it. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be, ooh, it's big. Oh, is it too big? Oh, rattlesnake, you may be too big. Okay, I'm gonna separate it, and we'll plant a small one. Okay, it's a good thing you guys cannot hear what goes on when I put it on pause. I had to rip this plant apart, and we'll see. But if it continues to grow, I just made 2 more plants. Okay, they're kind of even. It's balanced. All right, here are the, here's one of the plants. I've already separated it. It made 3, and I decided it'd be kind of cool to have 2, one a higher elevation than the other. Still want to run out of room. Could plant one there. Yeah, let's do that. Who's taller? You are taller. Oh, excellent. one. Plant one here. Okay. The fern. Now, when I originally was making this log, it's turned around opposite of what I originally wanted. So there's like a stick that's attached to the foreside that was supposed to be forward, and I was going to plant all things all the way through it. So we'll see how this is going to look. I need something really special right there. I do love this. That could be really pretty right there. Okay, so here is what I picked up in nature. A lot more moss varieties, some ferns, and this other cool moss here, which I haven't identified this one yet. But I love it because it grows in these little mounds. So I think I want to start putting some of this in to where I know I won't run out of space before I finish with the other plants. So turn off the lighting on top of it, so hopefully you can get a better view of the interior now. The log does hold water, but the angle is off a little bit because it's mostly, there's just leaving a little bit in there. So I'll have to check it and see if the floater plants can be able to stand that or not. But I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, I put a lot of plants in there that I got foraging, so I want to kind of see how those do. And I don't know, I like it. I think it really looks kind of cool. I'm going to put this on an end table, which is why I wanted the lighting behind it, so that when I'm watching television, this is not going to be too bright. Now, for those of you who are like, okay, well, if you want it on a brighter setting, this light becomes adaptable where you could just plug another one in and have it on the front side of it, which would be would give it even more light. But I think this will be fine for now. Let me see if I can go freestyle for you. And get a better look. So it did try to add tons of different types of little mosses that I found on this nature trail. Like right there, the leaf in the middle, the yellowy and green, that's just one cutting. So I am kind of using this as a nursery as well. Like I have a bougainvillea that almost died out, so I'm putting it there. I have some leaf litter still to put inside there. I have some bugs coming, so I'm still going to be adding some stuff to it. But right now I really like it because I love how the fact that I did it so you could actually literally turn it around any direction you wanted to be able to see it. I love how the mushrooms pop. And we have a completely negative space right in the middle. I like that because it's not just all, you know, crowded. I mean, I've got it crowded enough. And the colors, I think the colors will be really cool. On this side, on the right side with the prayer plant, I did the snow white, which has got the pink. And then we've got the deep burgundy here. I think those will look really cool together. And then I hope that all these little ferns that I have really take off. The only one that I bought is the rabbit's foot, which is right there in front. There's a bunch of tiny ones that are in there that I found out in nature. So there you have it. I don't have a name for it yet. It's my trail terrarium, I guess, because that's where I go trailing. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. When I add some more stuff to it, I'll give you the update. Thanks.